excited to be able to have just a in-depth conversation about really what does that mean? How are we showing up in this days of our time right now? And when I was talking to Shirley about kind of shaping this part of the conference out, I said, we really need to think about what does it mean to raise our voices in business, legislatively, personally? What does it mean when we start to take back our time? Maxine Waters, I believe, made this famous when she said, I reclaim my time. There were memes everywhere. And this is exactly what it is. It's our time. And as women, how do we raise our voices? And especially as women of color, how do we raise our voices? And how do we make sure that the voices are heard, that we can advocate for ourselves and get other people involved as an ally for us as well. So I'm really excited. This is a powerful opportunity. Jewel, I know that you are not an official person on the panel, but please feel free to chime in. I know that we've had lots of amazing conversations about this over the past couple of weeks, and so I'm really excited. I'm gonna go ahead and introduce our panel. So that means I need to bring my screen over because I am looking at it on another area. I'm like doing too many things over here. I was so excited. What did y'all think about Sery? Awesome. Yes, it was powerful. So, okay, so we got to end this on an even better note, y'all. Because if you guys have met me, you know I'm real competitive. So this is going to be the last panel. That will be the best panel. And if it's our time, we got to make it the most powerful time. So bringing it in is Lori Fox, and Lori is the Operations Excellence Manager from Adecco. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And one of the what I'm looking at is some of the key factors is, you know, how success must include processes and systems. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit. And then we have Nanette Ray. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to see you, Nanette. She is president of TNR Accounting and Management Consulting, and her specialty is telling your story by the numbers. And if you haven't heard that we have a new program, a financial program that is being launched, and Nanette is leading that. It's all about your fiscal acuity. I know I said a crazy word, but I just love the way it sounds. I love the way it rolls off my tongue, fiscal acuity. Know your numbers. Jeanette Bolware, so good to see you. I haven't seen you in forever. And Jeanette is with Fort Bend ISD Procurement. What you need to know about certification. Jeanette, I'm still waiting for y'all to become corporate members because you know that the WBEA certification reigns supreme. And then we have joining us is Raven Watson, and Raven is the president of At Work Personnel. Employing the right talent can facilitate change and growth. So Raven, I guess you are not a stranger to hire slow, fire fast. So I love it. I'm so excited to hear about all of that. And then we have Debbie Trevino. Debbie is our WBEA star. So thank you so much. Debbie is the president for Trico Services. And she's going to talk about why WBE and WOSB certification. I'm so hyped right now, y'all. And I don't even know where this energy came from because I don't even have coffee or anything. I just get excited. And then last is Soledad Tanner, and she is president with STC Consulting. How to make your money profitable and efficient. So I'm excited. Let's just give it up for these lovely ladies today as we start this panel. So I honestly don't have a bunch of questions that are pre-scripted and everything. And if you notice and you looked at our agenda, I'm not Sery. So originally Sery was going to be doing this panel. So I'm sorry. I hope that you're not let down that I'm not the famous blogger with wine in Alaska, but I am planning a trip to Greece next year. So maybe I'll come back and tell you all about that. But let's just kick it off right now. When you first start thinking about it's our time, I just want you to share with me what resonates with you. When I say resonates, this is an opportunity for us to get real deep, right? Real deep. When you hear the words, it's our time, what truth speaks to you? So who wants to take that? I know all your names.
I'll take it.
Okay.
When you say it's our time, I look at when I first began my business and raising my children, And now that they're grown adults raising my grandchildren, I say, this is my time now. This is my time to put my energy into my business, 37 years, and now it's a new beginning. It's a new beginning.
Absolutely. Ooh, I like that. Okay. All right. Who else?
When you said this is Soledad. When you say it is my time, I think of when I came to the US 26 years ago to study my MBA program, and everything was so foreign. You know, I had reverse cultural shock, right? Many things I didn't know. I didn't know not only how the educational system worked, but the business system worked. Fast forward 20 years ago, a corporate career, early retirement, and up in the business, and finally I get to talk about money with women. And I bring this issue forward because I have seen the effect of not knowing about money when my father died and my mother became a widow. I saw the effect of that as my friends went through divorce, as their life goes on, and when culturally we were not raised to talk about money, and suddenly money is the number one factor. Obviously health is number one, but after health and family, then the reality hits, and you really need to know what you have and how to manage so it lasts longer. And I particularly the Hispanic community is something that they have not been embraced with that in general. The new generations are more feel closer. So I feel very privileged that now I get to talk about know your money, handle your money, and don't give your power away to anyone because you own it and you're responsible.
Yes.
Don't give your power away to anyone. I love that. That's nice. I need to write that down. Okay. Who else? That was good. Don't give your power away.
April, this is Nanette. I'll just add to that. I feel a shift that's happened lately with everything that's gone on with George Floyd and everything that's going on in the world. You just feel the shift, and diversity is something that people are talking about, and women are included in that diversity. And you see now a lot more women be appointed to major board of directors, new CEO appointments. And so when I hear it's our time, that's what that means to me. It's like finally the world recognizes the power that women have. And so I see that there's going to be a change moving forward, and we need to be ready. This is our time. You only get your moment one time, and you need to be ready. So that's what it's our time means to me.
Right.
I want to piggyback off Nanette. That is spot on right now. I actually see, in addition to that, is because it's our time, we now have a seat at the table. And this is our time to make room and add other people that look like us, other ladies at the table that can also enjoy the opportunity that we might have not had. So I think right now it's our time to be heard. It's our time to use our voice for good. It's our time to find ways to bless other people, help other people, really get in position. Like Nanette said, get ready. This is our time. So I love exactly what Shirley and the team is doing today. Wonder Women are not born. We are made because we're supported by each other. And this is our season and our time to have that opportunity to sit at the table and really enjoy the fruits of it. Because many times when I worked for corporate America, before I stepped out on faith to do my own thing, I remember sitting at the table where I was the only female and most often the only Black female at the table. So that when I hear this is our time, that's what I hear. This is our opportunity to seize the moment and be ready.
Yes, yes.
Love that.
I totally agree with Raven on that. And April, thank you so much. When you say it's my time, I literally hear it's our time. And it is, it's our time, not just to be in the room and to show up, but it is our time. We have been equipped, we are experienced, we have so many things that we bring to the table that have not been at the table. So it's actually our time to show how we are able to create actionable things that we can deliver and that we can sustain and grow. So I am so excited to be here today and just to have the opportunity to really talk through a much needed conversation. It's just something that we need to be honest and clear about, but it's
a great time. We're not asking for handouts. I am still in corporate America. So I am unfortunately oftentimes still at the table where there's no one that looks like me, no one at all. And it is very important that when we come to the table, we show everything we have at the table. So someone had mentioned we got that window of opportunity. This is not the time to be shy. We are built for this. We are made. And this is our time to show what we're worth.
This is Jeanette Bolwell. When I hear the words, it's our time, there's a passage that says, our times are in his hands. And you know, when I think about that and I look at all of the obstacles and challenges we as women has had to overcome and to make it to be successful, I'm excited. April and Shirley included Fort Bend ISD in this, and more excited about the fact that I can share with my sisters that we can rise above it. It does not matter what happens in our life. It doesn't matter the obstacle. It doesn't matter the challenge. I'll give you an example. And this is my pet peeve. I love this. Last year in 2019, April may not be aware of this, but I was diagnosed with cancer, one of the rarest kinds that medical personnel said I wouldn't make it. I wasn't supposed to be here, according to medical, but a higher power, and we'll put it like that. and at the same time, my dad, I had to put him in hospice. So during 2019, in addition to that, we were able to take the small business, minority business, women-owned businesses, our goals from 25% to 34%. We never missed a beat in the midst of all of that going on. So I'm glad to be with my sisters, knowing that we have come together to unite. This is our time, and we can rise above anything and make it.
I think that's a great segue, Jeanette, from the standpoint of, you know, when you are given a time and you're given an opportunity and you've given, I want to say, a vineyard to work in, then it's up to you to do the work. So when we're having conversations, I kind of ask myself, how much and what things can I do differently that I hadn't done before in this time, in this season? Because I think that I've had a heart for things to change, but my actions haven't matched my heart.
Oh.
So therefore, it's my time, or it's our time. It's our time to move past, I want to say, the platitudes and move into the activity of the work, to be the spokesperson in those circles where we are placed. Even if it's at that top echelon, we can't be afraid to speak the truth and to say what needs to be said, because I think God has given us a window of time where people are really willing to listen, consider, and make a shift. And if we don't say it, if we're still bound by those old chains that we used to have, and we haven't come out of it, then we will miss the opportunity, and he'll just use somebody else to do it. But I think if we all do our fair share of making the shift and making this world better, we're going to see the kinds of results that we should be seeing at this time.
So a couple things that popped out here, right? And so this last one was on my mind, and three of you used the words kind of like sister and seat at the table. And I love that, Jeanette, when you said our time are in his hands. And recently, my daughter was in a play. So she works full time. She runs a couple of massage envies, but she's also a thespian. And she just did the lead in Sister Act. And one of the songs that I went to every weekend right? Every weekend, 3 weeks in a row, I was there in those seats. And there's one song that every time she sang it, my heartbeat was popping and popping. And it was a song, Sister Act. And I just want to say something about this song, and I'm going to read these words to you. And I want you to really think about these words because it's going to move up this next question. And one of the things, this is the words in the song. It said, I don't need a spotlight. I don't need a crowd. I don't need the great wide world to shout my name out loud. I've got my sisters by my side. I've got my sisters' love and pride. And in my sisters' eyes, I recognize the star I want to be. And with my sisters standing strong, I'm on the stage where I belong. And nothing's ever going to change the fact that I am part of one terrific sister act. And then it says, and as a sister and as a friend, I'll be a sister till the end. My brave sisters, my strong sisters, I am part of one terrific sister act. Those words just resonated with me so deeply that I started to think of when we think about how do we make sure that we have a seat at the table? How do we make sure that we are showing up and we are showing out? How do we make sure that we are serving with our sisters and we are rising above it? So when you think about the powerfulness of edification, how do we collectively edify each other and bring another with us as we rise, as we raise our voice, right? So what does that edification look like to you? And how have you edified a sister?
Does it matter which order we go in, April?
You can go in any order that your heart sends you.
Well, I'm going to jump out into the water first on this one because that is something that is very dear to my heart. I do feel like the experience and the knowledge that we obtain, whether it's in corporate, in our business, whatever business it is, taking those tools that we have become very successful with. Sery said something earlier about that, with taking what she learned and using that when she started her blogging, business, but taking those tools and then using those tools to help women who are in business to have the same type of foundation, the same type of sustainability, the same type of growth that any major corporation would have. I get the opportunity to be very, very intricately, strategically engaged in some process improvements for major corporations, we call them love brands. So they're the name that everybody wants. To be in the space with them, to plan, to strategize, to make their business better, their process improved. For me not to then take that and give that to women in business or to another sister is far removed. That is just not my story. My story is to take that. I am literally in those rooms, in those conversations, working through process improvement plans and growth strategies for major corporations, thinking in my mind, how could this apply for a woman in business? I know women that have been in business for 10, 15 years, they're mid-sized, some that are brand new, some that just still have a dream and an idea. How to help them not just step out there, but to sustain it and to grow. We know that so many businesses open and close, and mainly women in business. And I think it is just so important to break every stereotype that says women don't get along and women don't share and women compete, and show them that, no, we do get along, and I will help you, will give you all of the information that I have, because I am greater when you become greater than me. And I'm going to leave that on the table.
Mic drop. Yes. Okay, I got goosebumps. Who's next?
I want to follow what Lori said. I'm a mentor for the city of San Antonio, and I was approached to mentor other women business, and no one wanted to do it because in my industry, it's so competitive in the janitorial industry. But I knew in my heart that when you sow a seed, you reap. And I reached out and I gave back what I had learned in the wisdom that God had given me to be able to know that I was going to sow that seed for my daughters and my granddaughters, for other women to touch other women. You know what? Yes, we do compete against each other, but that makes us strong. That makes us powerful. That makes us want to go, wow, I want to be like that. And it gives us that backing that we need to say, you know what? We grew up to say women move to the side. But in the Bible, in Proverbs 31:10, God gave woman a position. And that position has been hidden. And guess what? Look at it, who's rising, and who's rising us? Up above. So I say women touching and grabbing each other's hand and embracing change is what's going to take us to the next level.
Wow.
Change is
Raven?
good.
And I'm going to follow that after Deborah. This is Soledad. I had the opportunity to work in many countries, in Germany, in India, for one company, for Deutsche Post DHL. And I was part of the global finance department and the strategy. And I learned so much in these very competitive environments. And when I will come back home, my girlfriends will ask me, can you help me with a budget? Can you help me calculating prices? Such for what I was doing. So things that were so simple for me, which I'm a mathematician, but that separated them from their dreams. That obstacle, the ability to calculate their break-even point or a profit or understand a projection, that was the door between dream and reality. And I couldn't comprehend that at the beginning, because I've been a long time, which I was in the global environment. But I always kept thinking of my mother when she became a widow. She didn't know, when we put her first little business and the kids were all helping her, she didn't know how to handle the money. So I remember seeing each one of these women, my mom, who was left with nothing to start from the ashes, take care of 3 kids, put them through college, and figure out how to survive. So that was the day that I thought, for every woman that I can help overcome this obstacle, there's a family that will rise. And when a woman is right, the whole family is right. And when the woman succeeds, the whole neighborhood is good. There's food on the table, everybody goes up. So we're gonna talk about money, and the more I do, the more my heart gets full. So it stopped being making money for a corporation, and it transformed into putting all that passion and to that purpose into making other people successful, and through that, making all of us successful.
I want to jump in real quick.
Yes.
I love what you just said, Soledad, and Lori was spot on. I would like to kind of take our little sisterhood conversation full circle, because I think we have one of our masterminds on this call right now. I don't know if she's still on or not, but Kyra.
I was here.
Best, she's still here, good. She's one of the best examples, and there are so many others too. I'm going to name you guys, so if I forget anybody, don't hold that against me. But I want to talk about sisterhood in a different terminology of collaboration. I think it's so important to know your lane, do what you do best, own that, and then recognize, as you strategically want to grow your business, okay, I'm good at this, but I can actually use and leverage someone that's better at this, and bring it together. Collaboration costs $0, and it's the best strategy for businesses. Kyra's the queen of collaboration. And I have a great example. A couple of months ago, there was an opportunity where it was a competition, and someone was strategic enough to recognize, if they won, it was a $1.9 million opportunity. If they won that opportunity, they recognized they don't do staffing. And so they actually put together an entire pitch, put me in it, I didn't even know, and they won it, which was a huge blessing and opportunity for my business. But she was thinking strategically and not competitively. And so she had the heart to think outside the box and think, okay, I do this really well, let me bring someone else that can do something. And it cost her nothing to do that. And Lori is spot on when she talks about creating opportunities, because Lori has often reached out to me blindly to create opportunities to sit at the table as well too. So I love this panel. I like seeing some of the names because I do own and have to say from experience, I've watched a lot of you, 80% of you, help someone else, help me. And I'm so grateful for that because I do know all the efforts that we're putting forth today, this year, is going to pay off tenfold in 2021.
Wow. Yes.
And I'll just add to that. This is Nanette. I'm a firm believer that what God has for you, it's for you. So you don't have to compete with anyone else. And there's room for everybody. And I think Raven, Lori, Deborah, everybody's made it, Soledad, have all made a good point. We need to work together. Men have been doing it for years. And we need to understand that we have power in numbers. And, you know, we're organized, we're doing all the work anyway. So if you're working in a corporate environment, I was PricewaterhouseCoopers in corporate America with a major insurance company. We did the majority of the work anyway. So we've got to believe in ourselves, know that what God has for us is for us, and not be intimidated by others. So as I see my sister's star rise, cheer her on. Because when she gets to the top, like what Raven said, when she gets to the top and she has a big contract, guess who she's going to pull in? So I think, you know, to me, this panel, I think, is amazing. It is our time. Like I said before, there is a shift that's happening, and we need to be ready. We need to be ready because now is our time, and I think we're going to be ready. I'm excited.
I love this. I love this. So speaking of being ready, whenever we are ready, I sent a note to Kyra because if you've been following, whenever there was a lull, I'm not going to waste any airtime. We're going to fill it because we said earlier that this is our time. The whole thing is ours, right? So if there was a gap in the program or an opportunity for me to lift someone up or bring someone in, I'm calling out names, right? So I pulled on Kyra a couple times and I sent her a text and I said, girl, we got to stay ready. We don't waste airtime. And I think that's what it's about, is we have to stay on the ready. And when we're on the ready, we also have to recognize that sometimes there are obstacles along the way. And we also recognize that women of color, there have been some very real barriers. And while the Women's Business Centers and the WBEA across, well, not WBEAs, but the WeBank network across the whole United States, our goal is to break down barriers to business, right? So here's my next question to you. As you think about the barriers that you have come across in your personal life, in your business life, what were some of the things that helped you get over that barrier? And what will you commit to help someone else jump over theirs?
The thing that helped me to overcome challenges, barriers, both personal and professional, and you all will understand that I go through a lot of passages. So there's a passage that says, I know the thoughts that I have for you, thoughts to prosper you, not to harm you, to give you some hope and an expected end. There's another one that says, and I'm paraphrasing, does not matter what goes on in your life. I told my granddaughter, as she was going through school, she said, Nana, she said, why do you have so many degrees? I said, it gives me a lot of options. So if I have 4, you need to have 8. She says, why, Nana? Whatever Nana did, She wants a better life even for you and other young people within the community. So when you're going through something, I look at it as a positive rather than a negative. If your business is not where you think it ought to be,
I think we lost you, Jeanette. Is she frozen on everyone's camera, or just mine? Okay. All right. So someone else pick it up, and then when Jeanette comes back, she can do barriers that you have faced personally or in business, and what will you commit to help someone else overcome theirs? Jeanette, do you want to pick it up?
Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay.
I think for me, just understanding that I am enough. Like, I have what it takes and I'm enough. And a lot of times when you're in corporate, because I came from corporate America, and when you work with men, they're really good at making you feel like you're not enough, or that your contribution is not as important. And then there's a fine line between when you are strong, then you're too aggressive. So I had to accept that I am enough and I'm going to be my authentic self. And so if other people are uncomfortable with that, that's really not my problem. I just have to be true to who I am. And as long as I'm being fair and doing what I feel is right, then everything's going to be okay. And I think that, I left corporate America in 2002, and that has worked for me. And anyone that knows me knows I have a pure heart. I really want to help people. If you're one of my clients, you always get more than what you pay for, because I'm always going to go above and beyond. And I think as women, and I've coached some of the women on the call, even with getting access to EIDL and PPP loans, I'm very proud to say that our firm has helped small business owners get about $850,000 in PPP and EIDL loans. But some of that was me calling clients and saying, did you apply? Well, I don't think I don't qualify. And I think Tim touched on that. That's what I found. Women don't always use our voice, and we don't always think we are enough, or we ask for less than what we think we have. And a lot of that comes from being nurturing and being parents and having our kids first. But I think I've learned the obstacle that I had to overcome, especially being a mother. I am enough, and I am worthy for whatever it is that I ask for, and stand in that truth.
Powerful. Thank you. Oh man, this is good. Anyone else?
I'm gonna continue. This is Soledad. I think for me, the being the first in many things has been a challenge. Being the first woman in the family graduated from college, being the first woman in my family emigrating to another country, being the first woman in my family getting a master's degree, being the first woman in the family traveling internationally by myself and working in foreign lands, being the first woman in my family owning a business. And you really don't have anyone to ask. And so you have to look for this sisterhood of people that have done it, they will tell you it's possible because they have walked the walk. Sometimes your own family, even though they love you, they haven't seen that world. So they cannot take you there. They can hug you, kiss you, and feed you, but with love, but they cannot see what, sometimes they didn't have the possibilities that you do have now, right? So that has been one of the challenges. I think also as I moved into the US, there was a lot of ignorance or lack of knowledge about other countries, and the, that the knowledge that we can bring and the cultural diversity that we can bring from other lands, that is an asset. Then the barriers, I overcame the barriers, a sheer determination, and matter how, working full time, studying full time, and at the younger days, probably partying full time. So too much fun altogether, right? That's long gone, but it's just sheer determination that even if I had to study with a dictionary next to my book because English was my second language, or because the school was too difficult or too expensive, trying to figure out how to get scholarships and who will give scholarships, or trying to figure out how to start your business and who will give you a loan. So it's determination, it's asking, it's the power of ask comes here. It's like, who, if I can call Nanette, if I can call April, if I can call Stacy, and maybe they know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, right? And I think in summary is determination, is integrity in what you do, and is at the top of everything is faith that there's a great destiny for you, unique to you, given to you, and that's the reason you were given the skill sets that you were given.
Wonderful, thank you. Anyone else want to talk about overcoming barriers and how they're going to help those overcome barriers?
So I will. I think the greatest barrier I had when I first started business, because I don't come from a corporate America, I come strictly from a janitor, being a janitor, and rising in the determination. I didn't even know how successful that God was going to take me, but I know He had a plan for me. So with that being said, is fear. We fear ourselves. Sometimes it holds us back from asking. It holds us back because we are so afraid that if we ask and we got rejected. But we don't realize that rejection sometimes is good. It's to go and find out, okay, if you said no, go to the next, go to the next. And sometimes us as women, we stop because we have accepted fear and rejection. And what I empower my daughters in raising them was never give up. I hit a real hard time in my business, and I kept on going, and my daughter said, man, Mom, every time you fall, you get up. And I said, the only thing in life that'll keep me down is death. Because besides that, there is nothing that can hold us back. And if we can overcome fear, and as I stand, I'm a firm believer, and I always stand before I even go to any event on Isaiah 54:17. No weapon formed against me will prosper. And I know that, and that's powerful, because it doesn't matter what anybody feels or think about me. It's the relationship that I know that I only have to answer to one God, and He has given me determination, He has given me perseverance, and He has put me in a place that I want to touch women's lives, because I know that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. And that makes sisterhood so powerful. And, I speak that from my heart because I believe in women.
Shirley put up on the chat box a little bit ago when we were talking about being on the ready, and she said, and Annette, I'm going to toss this to you to tee it off, and anyone else who wants to chime in can. But when we think about being on the ready, what are 3 things that we need to have in our backpack, in our parachute, ready to launch, to be on the ready? 3 things that we need to have packed in our parachute to be on the ready. Nanette, take us there.
From I'm an accountant, so I'm going to look at it from a financial standpoint. One of the things, there's 3 things. One's going to be a budget for your business. Another one is going to be understanding your financial reports and how much does it cost you to generate your revenue? And then the third is, what are your KPIs or your key performance indicators? So going back to the budget, when you get in your car, you have a windshield and then you have a rear view mirror. So your budget is like your windshield. It shows it is a numeric depiction of your strategic plan. So if you spend all this time strategizing and planning for your business, your budget should align with what your strategic, it's just a numeric depiction of your strategic plan. And it's the windshield that drives you, that it's larger because you know where you're going, you know where you're spending your money, you know where your dollars are going. And your financial reports are more like your rearview mirror. They tell you what has happened in the past. You know, how much did I spend last month? You know, where my numbers are. And then the second thing is, if you don't know how much it costs you to earn every dollar, you're really operating at a disadvantage. And it's so important that you know that, because if for every dollar it's costing you $1.50 to earn that, not all revenue is good revenue. And so a lot of us think, oh, I'm earning money, I'm making money, I'm making money. But if it's costing you $1.50 to make $1, you're really losing money. And so, you know, our firm spends a lot of time, you know, helping you understand and build that windshield so that you can really understand your business. And then on KPIs, I talk to clients and I say, you know, just relax. It sounds intimidating when you say KPIs, but really it's what makes sense for you. If you just had to sit down and think, what information do I need to know how well my business is doing? And for every business is going to be different. So, you know, the KPIs for Raven's business is going to be completely different from what Deborah needs or Soledad needs. So you know, think about what is it you need to know on how well you're doing. Like, do you do client consultations, or have you set a goal? Or you want to do 20 a month? Well, if your goal is to do 20 a month, you probably need to be talking to at least 5 people a week. And then are you wanting to close 80% of that? So you can measure that along the way. So that right there is a KPI. And so a lot of people get intimidated by the terms, but it's really just sitting down and thinking, how do I know how well I'm doing? What is it that I need to know? So those will be my 3 points: the budget, understanding how much it's costing you to earn your dollar, and making sure that you have some KPIs and you're tracking those KPIs.
Lori, when you think about the 3 things that we need to have in our parachute as it relates to processes, what say you? 3 things in our parachute.
That's funny, because I was like, you know, my 3 things that I really just couldn't even step away from. Everything I do is always just around an action, right? We just have to have action. And sometimes we think just the standard, you know, things that we need. Yes, we need our budget. We need all of those things for sure. But I'm going to challenge the women as well to also think of having these 3 things. So one of them is a team. I didn't say a staff. I didn't say payroll. It kind of speaks to what Raven said earlier. Surrounding yourself with a team that you can really move in and out of and gain insight, wisdom, information, access. So that's one, is to have a team. The second one that I'm going to say is really something that I've talked to so many small business owners, and that's to create a 30, 60, 90-day action plan repeat. So nice. You do a 30-day, 60-day, 90-day, all at one time. You do that action plan. You walk through that and you repeat. That will help you get so far down the street without even knowing that you've tackled, right, that long journey. So really taking those steps to look, what is my action plan? What am I going to do? How am I going to accomplish it? And that in a 30, 60, 90-day, and then repeat process. And then the last thing, I'm not trying to be funny, I really do have my Wonder Woman journal.
I love it.
I will say this, you need to have, that third thing needs to be your Wonder Woman action cape. It is very hard to push ourselves, right? And someone said it earlier about no fear and, you know, what if I fail? Oh, well, get up, try it again. We have to be brave to jump off the cliff, to step out of the boat, to walk on the water. We have to be brave enough to do it. So those are my 3 things. It's just your team, your 30, 60, 90-day repeat plan, and then your Wonder Woman action cape.
I love it.
All right, breaking it down. Okay, processes and systems for building business. And who haven't we heard from? Let's see. Jeanette, is Jeanette back? Did she make it back to us?
Yes,
okay,
I made
awesome,
it back.
Awesome.
I made
so,
it back.
I'm going to throw this to Jeanette and Raven. You think about what do we need to have in our parachute as we are moving through business in our lives? When we're reclaiming our time in business, what are 3 things that we need to have packed and ready to go? And you can speak from a certification standpoint or a procurement standpoint, Jeanette.
I'm going to speak from the certification standpoint. One of the things we need to do is be registered as a vendor for the entity or organization that you're trying to do business with. The second one, you want to be certified, and you want to ensure that you look at that organization and the certifications that they accept. What one particular audit organization may accept, another one may not. So please look at the different certifications. And if you're in an organization such as the WBEA, you want to ensure that that particular organization, those 2 organizations are working together. And one of the things I like about April, and April, you mentioned earlier, and I didn't allude to it earlier, about us becoming a member. And, you know, we've been working on this for 4 years as sisters.
Yes.
It's going to happen. And
It's
we're going to make it.
patient.
We're going to make it happen. And the third thing is ensure that you have a capability statement and make sure it's not a dissertation, but a 1-page, one-sided resume of your company. And we're looking for specific things, and make sure that you have those things on there. And reach out to that company. So programs such as ours, we'll meet with you one-on-one, and we'll ensure that you are successful.
All right. Debbie Trevino, Shirley is asking, what was one shock in your business that changed your direction? Jeanette, thank you so much. You are dropping so many nuggets today. I'm feeling it. Debbie, one shock in your business.
So as I go back and I look at 37 years, I think the greatest shock was in 2009 when the industry started going on a national level. And now I have come, and I was very perseverance about not giving up, and I would not give up, even though I saw myself going on a downhill. And everyone saying, you know, you need to get out. And I'm like, oh, absolutely not. I have a responsibility and a commitment to my staff and my employees and my clients. And I stuck with it. And I look at today that, you know, when no one can see inside, you're crying and you're yelling, but you're staying strong on the outside, and you're persevering, you know. And I look at my business today, and I hired a general manager for my company. I put some processes, stronger ones in place, gave me the capability to be able to go out and do business development and take full advantage of being a WBE. And it has turned our company tremendously around. Our increase in business is, I can honestly say, we haven't even completed the year, and we have increased by 25%. So that's, to me, is when you think you're going down, but you know you're going to go straight back up. So I really look at that. I see how important that was to me, and I'm proud. I'm proud of my business. I'm proud of where I am, and I sometimes am very hard on myself because I got married very, very young, did not even finish high school. But, you know, I learned, and the passion I had in my heart for my industry was amazing. And we grew, you know, we grew over 500 employees into 5 different states. And it was just being in places and knowing that I believed in what I did. So just having that one major shock, because my children were not a shock. They're like, okay, bring them on.
I have 2 questions left, and one of those are with you, Debbie, and that is, how did WBE certification help your business?
So when I first went into business, I was the physical janitor. Matter of fact, I was the supervisor. And when I was given the opportunity to take over the business because everybody wanted to jump ship, I was like, okay. But I wanted to grow my business on integrity, performance. I mean, even my children have tried to sell me out to go clean people's restrooms, you know? So, and I was told by a large corporation that they were going to have to let me go. And I asked why. And they said, because we need a woman on. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Where do I go get that? Because I am a woman all day long. So they said, well, you go down to the city and you go to PTAC. And I went down there and I said, I need to know how to become a woman-owned business. And the lady was laughing and she said, are you serious? I said, I need to know. I've got to get this certification going. I need to be a woman-owned business, because even though my husband and I were the ones running the business, it was like he was 8 to 5 and I was like 24 hours, 7 days a week. I could be just laying down and the phone would ring and I jump up, I got to go get a job done, right? And so when I became woman-owned, and then I became a member of the board with the Hispanic Chamber, and they said, you've got to be able to get these certifications. And I was like very hesitant, and then I got my 8A certification, and then I focused on 8A and kind of put the WBE to the side. And then I'm like, whoa, because 8A, you only have 9 years. That's it. And after those 9 years, you need to make sure that you're on a stepping stone and you're moving forward. So once I graduated 8A, I put back on my WBE, and then I became WOSB through the federal. And I can't tell you enough, when I go sit in front of contracting officers and they say, well, are you 8A? I said, no, but are you meeting your needs as a WOSB? Do you tell me what your goals are, and have you met them? And if you haven't, I'm here all day long. I ain't changing. So those are just some of the things that has really made my company strong, is to hold corporates accountable to say, if you're meeting all these other goals, what are you doing for the WBE? And how are you, if you're not meeting those goals, give us an opportunity. And if it's an opportunity that you don't need in my field, I can be able to bring other people or other WBEs that can take care of your IT, your construction, because that's what it's about. It's about collaboration. It's about so many events that I've gone to. And this is no lie, I was considered the queen, the expo queen, because I was everywhere. And it's empowering to know that I am always listening, and I'll say, I know a woman that can do that. And that makes me their billboard. You know, it makes me be able to know that I'm going to recommend them. And that's exactly what's so important. Hey, you know what? There's an opportunity over here. Get yourself out there, get on their portal, get yourself registered with them. That way, when you go to that expo and they say, well, are you registered? You can say, yes, I am. Yes, that's the priority one that we have to do, is get registered with corporate America and jobs that we want to go after. I was in Florida, certified WBE, and all I do is walk expos. And there was a gentleman, and he said, woman, what do you do? We see you all the time. I said, I own a janitorial company. It was Coca-Cola. They said, come to our booth. We have a job for you right now. Within less than 30 days, I was doing Coca-Cola facilities all in Florida. And that's, you know, that's God's perfect timing. That's being at the right place at the right time. But there's things that I do and there's things that I cannot do. But I know so many people. I know, I mean, just people that you can recommend, women.
Thank you. Shirley's going to kill me. We're supposed to be closing this up at 4:30, and we are already at 4:36. So there's two questions that are in here, Raven. One is, did you have any reservations in stepping out on faith and starting your business? And then the other question is telling singlepreneurs why hiring the right person can help them. So what I would like for you to do is go ahead and type that into the chat, because everyone will get a copy of this along with the chat so that we will have the response to that question. And what I want to do is end this on the one power word that you want to leave our audience with today. One word. So Debbie, your video is already spotlighted. So one word, and then the next person. Just one word as we close this out. And Maya, please take note, because you know what I'm going to ask you to do afterward. We're going to have a word cloud because there's a whole bunch of awesome words in here. Let's go, Debbie.
Love.
All right,
Love.
next.
Collaboration.
Collaboration. All right.
Perseverance.
Perseverance.
Intentional.
Intentional, yes.
Determination.
Determination. Who was that? Was it
Soledad.
Lori? Oh, Soledad. Okay.
Sustainability.
Sustainability. Did I get everyone?
I only have 4, so I missed something.
Let's see here. Raven, did you say a word?
I have 5.
Intentional.
Intentional. Okay. All right.
That's the one.
All right. Perfect. Thank you so much. This is great. I loved it. Raven, please don't forget to go inside of the chat and respond to those questions. You can scroll up a little bit. You might have to do that because there's so many good comments coming in here. I'm going to close it out, and the closeout is going to be really quick, and then I am going to play for you the song Sister Act that my daughter sang in the play. So I want to first again just echo everyone and thank all of our sponsors that we've had, all of our collaborators. Thank you so much. I just want you also to just put some thumbs up, claps in the air for Shirley. What she's going to do as soon as we're done is drop a few tears, and I'm going to give her some digital hugs and well dones, because Shirley, I'm so proud of you and I love you. This has been amazing. So thumbs up so she can see it. Thank you all for all of that. And then we have some gifts for you. If you miss picking up your swag bag, you still have time to pick up your swag bag at the office, which was sponsored by Centerpoint. And we have a special gift that will be inside of your swag bag, and that is lipstick by Doso. So WBEA is gifting you all ladies with a lipstick. So please make sure that you pick up your swag bag. But we also have a virtual swag bag that has a lot of virtual items in it that you will have, which will be emailed to you after this event. I can't see the date right now, even though I have my glasses on, but the date for because I don't know what's going on with the screen. But please make sure that you get to the office and pick up your swag bag. Maya will be there to hand them out to you, and you'll get your really cool lipstick. And I just want to say thank you. We are done. We're giving you back some more time. Just because this is over doesn't mean the opportunity to connect, collaborate, and be intentional with your time together is ending. This is time for us to really recognize that we are truly part of one terrific sister act. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to play this song and you can listen to it and put your information in there if you want anyone to respond to you, comment, put your contact information in there so people can connect with you, collaborate. Thank you again. Maya, can you play us Sister Act as we make our way for the rest of our day? Thank you so much.
Don't need fame or fortune, nice as those things are. I've got all I need to feel like I'm a star. I've got my sisters by my side. I've got my sisters' love and fight, and with my sisters